It was a beautiful morning. I felt great. Took it really easy. I was dead on. And everything was fine till maybe right around mile 23. It finally hit me that I couldn't see out of one eye. I just sort of stopped at the water station, just figuring I was dehydrated. Ate a banana, drank water, drank Gatorade, stood up, felt a little better. Still having a little problem seeing, but just kind of shrugged that off. Boy, that's where I said. But as I started coming into the last couple of miles, I wouldn't say I'd hit the wall, but I definitely wasn't feeling good. And I didn't mention anything about the vision problem because it had resolved itself, and I just kind of thought, well, that was weird. Didn't think anything of it. I didn't black out or anything like that, so I now know that, I guess I certainly would never have thought that I'd had a stroke. I would have thought a stroke would be something like a heart attack that would hit you like lightning, that you'd pass out, that you'd have some violent, almost like a seizure or clutching of something. My hand didn't work. I couldn't dress. I couldn't shave. Couldn't feed myself. Came back in a wheelchair. At that point, I was still on blood thinners and really didn't have my wits about me, to the point where the doctors had told my parents that I couldn't be alone for more than 4 hours. I got to the point where I learned how to walk again, learned how to feed myself, to get dressed in the morning, to get in and out of a car, to walk downstairs with someone not having to hold me but just watching me. By the time I got working with Schipul down here in Austin, what we were working on was what's called, fancy term called executive functioning, which in layperson's term just means being able to be a normal functional adult as far as I'm concerned. The brain is a muscle, so once you figured out what was busted, she would work that process again, repeat it again, and add weight to it until that thought process that had been broken either got stronger and can function on its own, or that I had, strategies for working around it, kind of like running around your backhand in tennis. Take a deep breath, slow down, think. Some real basic stuff. Just knowing that do the same thing every day. Moving downtown, I really love the neighborhood down here. It's, it's local stores, it's a Joe's, not a Starbucks. It feels like a neighborhood, so, people here are so much friendlier. It means you're sort of, people sort of reached out. They can tell that, I'm not all there event. How you're doing, and they actually mean it. So I'm really, really, really happy here in Austin. The family I come from is pretty special. So much of the physical and cognitive therapy involves taking risks, doing that day in and day out. If you feel that you're only doing it for yourself, or if you feel if you fall flat on your face and never be able to move your hand again, it's so much easier, or I'd say it's impossible to do that without having some amazing, absolutely amazing individuals pulling for you and reminding you that you're not alone, that you're going to get through this. I try to work on Tuesdays and Thursdays for my work with Convio. Try to keep those activities and those blocks. I've done an awful lot amount of work on my blog. And the other major projects I've been working on have been fundraising around the Austin Heart Walk. I've done that now 2 years in succession. And this year I've been ramping up my efforts on trying to communicate what I've learned about the preventable risks of stroke. I've kind of gotten to a point where, I'm 85 to 90% recovered, so to speak, whatever that means. I've probably come further than any of the doctors could possibly have imagined I would.